Hey everybody, this is Coach Pierre from PSU. I'm very excited to share my virtual session with you. I hope you are also excited to get some practice and some soccer back in your life at the moment. A couple of things before we get started. First is you will need just a few things: a ball, 4 cones. If you don't have cones, you can use t-shirts or shoes. That's totally fine. Just 4 objects and a water bottle. So get those things before we get started and treat it like a real practice. Bring it all with you. Secondly, a couple of notes for the parents. The first of all is obviously the playing space is important. I tried my best to design this in the smallest amount of space as possible. So I calculated, ideally, you would need a space of 9 feet by 13 feet. So 9 feet wide, 13 feet long. That is sort of the prime amount of space needed. If you don't have that, you can make it work, don't worry. Shrink it up a little bit. Just you'll have to go along with the video with your kid to judge that. Speaking of which, I tried my best also to make a video that would capture the kids' attention throughout, and that would require the least amount of parental assistance. But the truth is, you'll probably need to be with your kids to go through it and to sort of go along. In the same vein, I think I want to emphasize that this is really intended more as sort of separate modules as opposed to just like one practice to run through the whole thing at once. So there are 3 parts to the practice. First is the warm-up, which you will need to do no matter what, and you can probably just do it one time through. The second part is technique number 1. That is sort of an introductory part, and that is very important. It's sort of the crux of the practice. That one, I really encourage you to pause it as many times as you want to sort of really make sure that your kid gets the exercises. So you can pause it at any point. There are 5 exercises in technique 1. I encourage you to go through it once and then go through it another time and pause and repeat the movements with your child to make sure that they get it. If they start sort of being creative with any of those 5 exercises, amazing. Keep going. Keep doing your thing. It's intended for you to sort of riff off of it and go along as you may. The technique part 2 is the last part. That one is a little bit more advanced, a little bit more paced, and that is really intended more so for sort of some of the advanced England boys and also some of the advanced Argentina boys, but it goes a little bit faster, so it's a little bit more up-tempo. Don't get frustrated if you're not going exactly at the pace that I'm going. Just keep going. Keep your own count of what we're doing. It doesn't matter. This is not a race. The key is for the boys to take their own development in their hands, to realize sort of where you stand. It's between you and the ball. I keep saying that in the video. It's between you and the ball. So don't worry about my counts. Just go along with it and notice your patterns. Notice how well you're doing something. Notice your improvement, boys. It's really, you can tell once you've got a skill down. It's that good feeling when you're like, yep, I got it. This is good. I want to keep working at it. I want to keep getting better at it. So that's what I'm looking for. Lastly, the last note I want to make is you'll see for the warm-up and the first part, I go outside. I'm lucky enough to have a patio here. I'm up in Massachusetts. I'm away from the city. And there I put on my shoes because it's more comfortable. I'm outside. And then I come back in for technique 2 here in the basement. And here I have the carpet, so I was comfortable doing it barefooted. And I prefer that. I recommend if you can do it without any shoes on, I think that's great. Your kid is going to get more sort of feel for the ball, more comfortable. It's going to be clearer how to sort of control the ball. So I would suggest doing it without, you can do the whole practice without shoes. I think that's great. If you have carpet to do it on, then reason more. If you don't, if you have hardwood floors, if you have, or whatever reason, if you want to think about the noise, you want to minimize the noise, and you want him to wear shoes or socks are a great way to go about it also, that's totally fine. Whatever is comfortable is cool. So that's about it. We're gonna jump right in. Like I said, treat it like a real practice. Get all your stuff together, your water bottle, your cones, your ball, tie up your laces, your shoes, put on your favorite kit. If it's a Man United kit, even better. If it's something else, that's okay. But treat it like a real practice. Set up the space, and then we're gonna go for about a full hour. So let's get going. All right, boys, enjoy the practice.